Welcome to Call of the Wild.
Hey everyone, this is Monstercat's weekly radio show connecting you with some of your favorite artists.
Hey everyone, this is Kill Paris.
Hey guys, this is Conroe.
What's up guys, Deon Timmer here.
And of course, a place where individuals like yourselves can take part in a global family.
Hey yo, this is Logan from Australia.
I'd like to shout out everyone who listens to Monstercat and remind you that you're awesome.
So glad I'm here.
So get yourself ready for an hour of fresh music, and it all starts right now.
With nothing to hold us back, these are the songs of the wild.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Monstercat's Call the Wild, where we share with you the best in new and classic Monstercat catalog each and every week, broadcasting to the world. So, wherever you are tuning in from, get ready for an unforgettable hour. While you're enjoying the music, make sure to also reach out on socials to each of the artists featured today and share your support for their music, as well as talk to us using hashtag COTW Radio. First up on the show is actually a bit of a new feature that we are going to be calling our Monstercat Gold feature of the week. That means if you are a Monstercat Gold subscriber at monstercat.com, you get early listens to each and every song released on our catalog 24 hours before the rest of the world does. Monstercat Gold subscribers also get plenty of other perks such as shop discounts and access to a library of claim-free music that can be used on your monetized platforms, as well as community perks on Discord and Reddit. So let's share today's Monstercat Gold feature. This is Change by Have and Skyel, and it is an early listen right now on monstercat.com for gold subscribers. So let's get into today's show. Welcome to Monstercat's Call the Wild. Let's go.
As I'm searching for the break of a day to follow away to you. 'Cause at the end of the day, I ain't looking for no reason to change. 'Cause everything is good for you. Baby, I can see we're gonna shout it out to the sky. Tell our secrets to the night, so we can see the end inside. We're gonna shout it out to the sky. When I look into your eyes, I can see no better light, better light. We're gonna shout it out to the sky. Secrets to the night, so we can see the end inside. We're gonna shout it out to the sky. When I look into your eyes, I can see no better light, better light. We're gonna shout it out to the sky.
drop bombs, yeah. Now let me see you go off like a
All right, getting right into our hour with some big tunes. You just heard a favorite. That was Drop Bombs by Stonebank, of course. And before that, we had a gem from Fractal with Spection off of his Spection EP. Now, this one coming in is our Monstercat Uncaged Spotlight of the Week, and it goes to Pegboard Nerds and More Plastic with The Ride. Let them know what you think on socials using hashtag COTW Radio and tagging them. Let's get back to the music.
Watch my life pass me by, never knowing where I belong in a web of love and lies as you string me along. And I can't breathe, I can't see, I'm losing sight of everything. I feel the walls closing in, am I falling apart? Oh, I just wanna be free, I just wanna be free. I think I'm falling apart. Oh, I just wanna be free, free, free. Watch my life pass me by, never knowing where I belong in a web of love and lies as you string me along. And I can't breathe, I can't see, I'm losing sight of everything. I feel the walls closing in, I feel I'm falling apart. I feel I'm falling apart.
Checking in, how we feeling? That right there was Falling Apart by Pegboard Nerd, Stonebank, and Emil, which brings us into our first exclusive record of the hour. Here is Aztec with a solo release called Melbourne, and you heard it right here on Monstercat's Call the Wild.
reason you don't smile every day. I wish I could change the season, 'cause I've kept the sky gray. You put your life on hold and I said you had a heart of gold, and that is always how it's gonna be. 'Cause you did it all for me. Yeah, you did it all for all alone. I kept it all inside. Always walked one step behind. Feeling lost in between the lines. I was always fighting battles in my mind. There's a voice I hear inside my silence, telling me that I can't let life just leave me dry. I gotta try. just begun.
It is now time for another Spotlight record. This is our Instinct Spotlight of the week, and it goes to the amazingly talented Mazel with his single Crashing Down. Let him know what you think by tagging him on socials or using hashtag COTW Radio. Let's hear it.
I'm waiting for better days, but I'm not giving up hope just yet. This stillness is just a phase. I need to find my purpose again. It's been hard to keep my composure, and I really wanted to be over. Innocence and summer rays, we come back swinging. When it all comes crashing down on us, stand your ground. Faith is something that is pretty hard to find. So take it on yourself and keep your head up straight. Brighter days will come, so you better be prepared. When it all comes crashing down on us, crashing down. Vision is clouded. It feels like we've been aging faster. I feel so secluded. I really wish that things got better. It's been hard to keep my composure, and I really wanted to be over. Innocence and summer rays, we come back swinging. When it all comes crashing down on us, stand your ground. Faith is something that is really hard to find. So take it on yourself and keep your head up straight. Brighter days will come, so you better be prepared. When it all comes crashing down on us, crashing down.
was our community pick of the week, voted by you, the community, each week on our live stream at live.monstercat.com. This week, we traveled back to Monstercat 018 featuring Danica Nadeau with Real Love by Rootkit. Now, let's switch it up to our Monstercat Silk Spotlight, and it goes to the track called Melancholy Strings by Russian producer Soundquell. Let's hear it, and you heard it right here on COTW Radio. Each and every week, dropping the best in new and old Monstercat catalog. Let's go. are just about nearing our time together this week. We only have 2 more records to share, including this last exclusive preview, then wrapping up with a big favorite from Trivecta, Amity, and Rory. But first, like I said, here's an exclusive. This is Skylar, Madison, and Glenna with their record, Phoenix. Enjoy, and we'll catch you back here, same time, same place, next week for Call the Wild. Until then, later days.
You love your sticks and stones. You throw them my way to make a point, but I don't have hollow bones, so you'll never take away my voice. You used to be like home, but now the whole place is so destroyed, and I'll survive on my own. I'm stronger than when I started, even through all the times I hit the ground. I'm stronger than what you wanted, even through all the times you burned me down. I keep rising from the dust. You love me like a riptide. I don't know if I'll survive. As the darkness falls